Hi everybody, this is Osprey from MyChartCoach.com, and in this video we're going to take a look at some more of the stocks that were in play today. And this video is going to concentrate on the marijuana sector. So we are going to cover mainly stocks in the Canadian marijuana sector, but we're also going to cover a couple of the stocks in the US sector at the end of the video. So first up in this video we're going to take a look at TWMJF. Okay, so that's Canopy Growth, and they are the top cannabis company in the world. Okay, so they are number one, and they have a really strong chart going right now. If you can see here, right now RSI is in the bull zone. It's at 61, so there's still room to run until 70, so it's not overbought. Now you have Fasto above 80, a nice bullish crossover recently on 80x, and so the move today, the bullish move was above high close resistance. There was a close above the closing price on November 27th, and then a close above the descending resistance line in the symmetrical triangle pattern. And so the close above, it is signaling more upside potential. It closed barely above. It needs to stay above 1550. And then what we're looking for now next is a close above the closing price on November 13th, a break above 16. 16 is the next big level. If it can close above 16, that's going to signal it wants to head higher, and 17, the all-time high, will be on deck. So yeah, so nice follow through today with the close. Another close above the middle Bollinger Band. It looks like that level is turning into support. As long as 1470 holds, a new uptrend should begin here. And notice there's a bullish crossover on MACD 8, 13, and 5. So that is signaling the possible start of a new uptrend. And then you want to see that 12, 26, and 9 crossover. And then check out the green dots, the PSAR, parabolic SAR. The green dots were above the candles. The share price hit that level today, and the dots flip below the candles. SAR stands for stop and reverse. So it looks like the downtrend could be stopping, and a new uptrend could be starting. Okay, so let's look here at this is ACBFF. This is Aurora Cannabis. They're battling it out for number one. They're number one or they're number two right now. They could be number one. They're working their way up there. They're competing with Canopy Growth. RSI is at 61. You want to see Fasto get it back above 50. So this had the nice bounce off of the middle Bollinger Band. That was the move that we were looking for. Today there was follow through. It closed up today 3%, but a white candle did not form. So the reversal pattern was not confirmed. But nonetheless there was a bullish close above EMA's 4, 8, and 13. So as long as 560 holds, then it should signal it wants to push higher. And what we want to see next is a break above $6. That's the next key level. The closing price here on the last trading day of November, and then we have the closing price on the 27th is a big level to break up here around 645. So this is a really a nice bounce during an uptrend. And so a break above 6, because 6 is going to put this 640, 650 resistance zone on deck. Close above that, and that's going to signal the uptrend is still super strong and that it wants to keep pushing higher. So yeah, so keep an eye on ACBFF for a push higher. And then now look at APHQF. This is another one of the top dogs. Afria, they just signed a deal with one of the big pharmacy drugstore chains across Canada. So they're going to be selling their marijuana through their pharmacies. So that's a huge news. The stock is pushing higher. You notice that it is riding EMA 4 support, currently at 1049. There was a close today above resistance, so that was signaling more upside potential. The closing price there on what was that, the 5th of December was the key level to break. So this black candle, the open was up here at 1150, and it closed down here below 1075, and so that was the key level to break. That was the high close horizontal resistance level, and the close above that level today does signal more upside potential. So now what we want to see is a close above the open here that I just discussed, just above 1150, and if it can close above that, that's going to signal 12 is on deck. So this has a really nice steady uptrend going. Very, very nice. Congrats everyone. When the uptrends like that, the signal is just to keep riding. Okay, look at MEDFF MEDFF. This is another one of the top dogs, MedRelief. And so, yeah, they've got a sideways action going right now. You know, our RSI is still in the bull zone. It's at 57. Fasto just got above 50, so the chart's heating up here. It's right at the key level. Okay, so this is a thinly traded stock. Currently, the middle Bollinger Band at 1257. You notice it closed at 1250. It hit that middle Bollinger Band today and pulled back. So what we're looking for is a close above 1257, and then that's going to signal that it's ready to head higher. Similar to the canopy growth getting back above that middle Bollinger Band. That's what we want to see here. As you can see, there's this, it's just been, it's been in this pattern here where it consolidated really hard. Now it's trying to break out from that and push higher. And if it can, then what we want to see is a break up here, the high close resistance level on the 13th of November. That's the big level to break for this stock. If it can get up above this, 425 to 450 resistance zone, then that's going to signal it wants to head higher. First things first, it's got to close above 1257 and turn that middle Bollinger Band back into support. Okay, yeah, and take a look at the 8, 13, and 5 MACD. Notice how it wants to cross over. That would be an early reversal signal. Okay, let's look at NXTTF. Okay, they signed a deal with Canopy Growth to sell their hydro equipment, their horticultural equipment, and it really took off, and then it traded sideways, and now it's trying to push higher again. So now you have RSI above 70, so now you at 71, it needs to stay above 70. If it pulls back below, it's going to signal it's cooling down. You have Fasto in the bull zone, and then the big move here is how EMAs 4 and 8 have been holding, and then the test here of the high close resistance level on the 27th of November. That's the big level to break. Okay, so it's basically at what is that, like 86, 87. If it can close above that level, then you're looking at Dollarland. Dollarland's on deck. So it's all about this closing price on the 27th. You know, it closed at high of day today, 85. You know, the bulls were strong into the close. There was a nice volume spike. The EMA 4 and 8 support held after the consolidation. Many times when that happens, after a stock consolidates, notice how it consolidated on light volume down here. The volume, there was a declining volume pattern. Okay, so the share price got ahead of itself. All right, and what happened up here is if you look at this candle, notice how it got ahead of itself. It formed above the upper Bollinger Band. The candles worked back into the bands, and as they worked back into the bands, the volume was declining, and it got really light on the 4th and the 5th. And notice how it was holding support in those days. Nobody was selling. Everybody was holding tight because they know this thing's worth more than $1. Did I repeat? Canopy Growth is the number one marijuana company in the world, and these guys just signed a deal with them. I mean, come on, this is heading above $1. You know, so yeah, it would be really amazed if it did not break above $1. But hey, it's got to get above 86. I can think all I want. We're just following the charts here, and so keep an eye on NXTTF here. I think it's gonna keep pushing higher, and then if you look here, it's got a pinched MACD. All right, and so you want to see the bullish crossover there. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, if you're looking at the marijuana sector and you're wondering what to do, the United States sector, it has a lot of uncertainty right now. On December 22nd, they're going to be voting again on whether or not to put the bill in that keeps the feds from busting people in the United States for their medical marijuana businesses. If they don't put that into the bill again on the 22nd, you're going to see a major pullback in the United States marijuana stock. So there's a lot of uncertainty. They need to get that back in the bill to keep everybody safe. All these companies now that are trading, worth millions of dollars. And but on the other token, the Canadian side, they're getting federal permits from the Canadian federal government to operate legally. And these are not just Canadian companies, they are worldwide. They have permits to operate around the entire planet. Okay, so they are way ahead of the United States, and it's really the safety. So the point I'm trying to make is, if a company has a federal permit to operate in Canada, then they've gone through all the hoops, and they've been deemed trustworthy by the government to give them a permit. So they've done all the work for you. So they should be golden, especially if they're a smaller company and they sign a deal with the big dogs. I mentioned the big dogs are over here on the left, you know, Canopy Growth, Aurora, Afria, you know, you have MetaLeaf, you know, you've got some big people that are taking over the industry, and then you have the little guys like NXTTF and OGRMF and PRMCF. You've got other people that are ATTV, you know, there's a whole bunch of them. I've been posting charts on them. I should have did the IMLFF. Sorry, I did not get that on here. There's so many to cover, but you know, they're takeover candidates, and they're also, you know, they're if they have the permit, you know, they're willing, you know, they could get bought out by some of these bigger companies, like we're already seeing with Aurora doing takeovers, and then also, you know, they're signing big contracts. This is only growing. This is just starting, and so yeah, but you know, things can cool down and pull back. Right now, everything's very bullish. We're just following the charts here. OGRMF. All right, so it broke out. It had the big breakout today above the $3 resistance zone. That's what everybody was looking for. You notice how it hit that multiple times. It formed multiple tops at $3, and today was the day. It finally closed above. So congrats, everyone. This is what everybody was looking for. Really nice, strong uptrend. You know, so the bulls were rewarded. You have bullish crossover on the 12, 26, and 9, and you know, a recent bull cross on or bull flip on PSAR. And so if you look at the OGRMF weekly chart, you'll see here that it's going for an all-time high weekly close again this week. Okay, so last week it you know, made a new all-time high weekly close, because the all-time high close was back here in what is this, November of 2016, down here around 275 or so. And so now it's working its way up to the all-time high. You know, this thing just started trading back in December, or back in 2014, and August of 2014, and you know, when it started trading, what was it, around $2 or so? And so yeah, it was around the $2 range, and so you know, the highest that it's ever been is 340, and so it's working its way to that level, and so this is looking like, you know, so what's going to happen is either it's going to double top at 340. Notice how it's retracing back to that level. It's been multiple months that it's working its way back, multiple weeks, and then if it can close above 340, that's going to signal that it wants to break out higher. So this is riding EMA's 4 and 8 support higher. When you have a weekly chart like this that's super strong, and its candles are forming above the middle Bollinger Band, above the moving averages, above the 50 and 100 week moving averages, the 100 week is the biggest moving average on this chart. It signals just to keep riding if you're a long-term investor or somebody that's not looking to day trade. Okay, so look at PRMCF. Okay, this is another one of the smaller ones. You know, it's a thinly traded stock, but it did break out above resistance today. The high close was on the 28th here, and so the close today above that level, that is signaling more upside potential. So keep an eye on PRMCF to keep this uptrend going. Notice how the middle Bollinger Band's been holding when tested, and so the next level to break is 380, and if it can close above 380, that's going to signal that it wants to keep running higher. Notice that MACD, it just crossed over on both time frames, and there was just a PSAR bull flip today. So everything's pointing, you know, MACD or a bull cross on 80x, and you have you know, RSI and Fasto in the bull zone. So everything's pointing to this wants to keep pushing higher. And let's take a look at TRTC. Okay, so this is one of the American companies, one of the better known companies. It closed up 17% today. It had the big breakout above the 300-day simple moving average. That's at 0.266, and so that's the big level to stay above. As long as it stays above the 300-day simple moving average, it's going to signal more upside potential. And what we want to see next is a break above 29. 29 is the high close from back here in July. And so it's filling the jar back up to that July level. A close above 29 is going to be super bullish. And then we're going to be looking at 31 and 32.5. Okay, that's the highs from back there in July. So 29 is a huge level. If it stalls out at 29 and pulls back and then holds that 300-day simple moving average, that could be your reload level if you missed it, or if you're looking to flip. You know, as long as it's holding 25 and EMA 4 support, the chart's super strong. There was huge volume behind the move today, pushing it higher. We are covering the United States stocks, and so keep that in mind, that there's quite a few going off. You know, they like to run a few at a time, and so you know, it helps to be on the ones that are in play. And so take a look at GBLX. Okay, this is a marijuana company. You know, they came out with their propagation method that's going to improve results. And so yeah, the share price has been running, and it currently has RSI at 93, so it's really overbought. It's super frothy right now on RSI and Fasto, and you have ADX that's really pushing. It closed up today another 23%, so congrats. You know, it was hitting key resistance on the weekly chart, and it was able to bust ahead. Notice how it's been pushing, you know, for multiple days in a row. You know, it's up, you know, basically, what is that, 200% in the last week and a half. And right now, today's candle did form above the upper Bollinger Band. If the candles do work back into the bands, you want to see EMA4 at 56 hold. Notice how EMA4 has been holding the pink line the entire time that it's been pushing higher. A close below that would be a signal that it's cooling down. Notice it is above all the moving averages down here. So you have the 50, the 100, the 200, the 300, the middle Bollinger Bands, the 20-day simple moving average. It's trading above all the moving averages. It's just getting very parabolic right now, and so you need to be, you know, on the lookout for it cooling down. So watch the 15-minute chart for a drop below the middle Bollinger Band to signal that it's starting to cool down. Notice that MACD line is super vertical. That's an unsustainable trajectory. It can't keep going at that steepness. You know, at some point it has to cool down, and so keep that in mind. If you look at the GBLX weekly chart, you could see here it did bust above the 300-week moving average. You know, we were looking to you know, lock in gains here at the end of the week because we didn't know if it was going to pull back, and then it broke above. You know, that was the signal to jump back in with the break above 60, and then as long as 60 holds on the 300-week moving average, that signals more upside potential for the longer term investors or traders. Now if the candles pull back into the bands, because this week's candle is floating above the upper Bollinger Band, you know, the 50-cent level is the big level to hold. Okay, so down here where EMA4 is at, and you want to see that 200-week simple moving average at 53 hold. Okay, so yeah, this has got a really nice uptrend going. It's breaking above resistance. If it can stay above 60, then it should head back to dollar land. Okay, so yeah, thank you very much for viewing this video. If you'd like to learn more about charts and technical analysis, please come check us out at our chat. I'll put the link below the video. Okay, thank you.